Cinema has only existed for a small portion of American history, yet it has integrated into popular culture in such a major way. Movie production has gone from this to being able to produce amazing scenes such as this one.
Produced in 1888, the Roundhay Garden scene is known as the first movie ever produced. This movie truly exemplifies what it means to be a short film, depicting a couple of people moving around. It captures simple motion and represents the birth of movies for the world.
The next movie on our list is the movie The Great Train Robbery, filmed and produced by Edwin S. Porter in 1903. The movie was produced in Milltown, New Jersey, making use of unique filming techniques such as the moving camera, editing with the addition of sound, and on-location shooting. The movie shows the progression of a train robbery. Here, the ability to convey a plot, though simple, reveals the early potential of movies as a source of entertainment. The Birth of a Nation, a 3-hour-long film and the first 12-reel film in the United States. The film made innovative use of cinematography techniques such as fade-outs and close-ups, and more abstract methods such as an epic, which is the build-up of a story to an exciting climax. Accompanied by a music score played by an orchestra, the story is known for its relevance to American history, an imagining of the Civil War and Reconstruction era of the United States, its controversy of how it depicted the Reconstruction era, as well as the biased portrayal of African Americans and the KKK, show the emotional and political spheres that movies hold even today.
Moving on to the Roaring Twenties, American cinema was experiencing an upward trend in production as well as popularity. For example, the movie Jazz Singer tells the story of a young man yearning to become a jazz singer. The movie itself includes milestone achievements such as the use of synchronized music, as well as representing the decline of the silent film era. Not only that, but the film reflects characteristics of the era. Use of blackface in the film shows inherent racism and discrimination toward African Americans during the time, as they could not be actors. And the focus of jazz in the movie represents the popular music at the time as well. The American fashion during this period can also be seen as well, as the men are wearing formal suits and ties, with the women wearing extravagant clothes.
You know that chick with red shoes? Yeah, we're talking about Wizard of Oz next. The famous adaptation of L. Frank Baum's novel, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, tells the coming-of-age story of Dorothy and her adventure to return home. The Wizard of Oz, first released in 1939, was the first feature-length film to make use of Technicolor, bringing a whole new atmosphere to films. The screen is now vibrant and is no longer confined to that boring black and white. However, the film used black and white for the beginning scenes in Kansas, and when Dorothy arrives in the land of Oz, the screen transitions into color, a clever shift to show change from the mundane regular world to the fantasy setting of Oz. Its victories in the Academy Awards for Best Original Song and Best Original Score show the rise of movie awards in American history, such as the Academy Awards themselves and the Oscars. Its popularity and renown among the public shows the ability of movies to become American pop culture symbols.
As television started to grow in popularity, movie theaters were threatened with becoming a less convenient way of watching movies. But one film would demonstrate a major advantage that theaters now have over television. This movie would be known as The Robe. The Robe was released in 1953 about the Roman military officer who led the unit that captured and killed Jesus. One thing that would set this movie apart from television shows, and later almost all movies, was the ability to broadcast the movie on a giant widescreen. This ability would create a greater immersive experience due to people naturally seeing in a widescreen view. Theaters could now accommodate more people without compromising their viewing experience, and this new format popularized the trend of wider, larger screens in theaters that were also used today in America.
During 1964, Disney would release the film Mary Poppins, which was loosely based on the book series of the same name. The movie is about a magical English nanny that helps a dysfunctional family come together through her unconventional lifestyle. The movie's focus on family dynamic as well as how children should behave reflects the growth of the baby boomer families that prevailed from 1946 to 1964. Not only that, but this film would be well known for being a live-action animated film, which meant that it combined the performances of live actors and hand-drawn animation in a single film. Through the use of animation along with live action, movies can create seemingly magical characters, as Mary Poppins proved. The popularity of this movie and its recognition as one of the best live-action animated films would see this genre become more popular, as seen in the movies like Space Jam.
Star Wars A New Hope revolutionized camera technology through its specialized motion-controlled camera that could be programmed through a computer, resulting in a new way to film dynamic maneuvers and creating illusions of stationary models. Action was being revolutionary and grandiose and expansive landscapes could be created. It also revitalized the effects industry through the use of sound design. They were able to combine both organic and electronic sounds to build a new soundscape, and brought a new feature that movies could use to convey mood and atmosphere, as well as opening up a new plethora of options for ambience and sound.
The year is 1993 at Pixar headquarters, where a certain movie is coming to light. This movie is Toy Story. While many people associate the film with its memorable characters like Woody and Buzz, not many people know of its importance in both American and global cinema history. Toy Story was the first movie to be completely animated through the use of computers. Previously, movies mainly utilized animation techniques and technology such as cell animation that made use of hand-drawn paintings and drawings. However, Toy Story made use of the exponential growth of technology in America at the turn of the century and was able to use sophisticated programs to bring the characters of Toy Story to life. 3D models and buildings were created over the span of 4 years in order to bring Woody and his gang to the big screen, and Toy Story set a new standard for animation. Many of your childhood favorite movies from Pixar and Disney have Toy Story to thank for making 3D animation possible and popular.
What movie comes to mind when someone mentions modern movie? For a majority of our generation, Avengers comes to mind. The comic book adaptation giant of Marvel has dominated the box office globally, and love for this franchise has gone beyond the borders of the US. The Avengers have gone from simply Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, Hulk, Thor, and Hawkeye to an expansive roster including heroes like Star-Lord and Black Panther. However, this movie also represents the increasing globalization that America has experienced in the modern times, as well as the megalith business that the film industry has become. Teaser trailers and social media such as Twitter and YouTube have become new sources of advertising movies, and the box office sales of the Marvel franchise goes to show the growth of the film industry today. Beginning from a simple film in a garden to a global phenomenon, the film industry has gone leaps and bounds in improvement, with innovations in camera movement like those from Birth of a Nation, visual and auditory effects from Star Wars, 3D animation from Toy Story, and the adaptation to a larger screen with The Road. Overall, The Avengers can be seen as a culmination of the film industry as a whole, and how the modern film has become a formidable business.
This is the end of our informative video. Now, enjoy this more entertaining version of how film has evolved over time.